Ghosts, ghouls, vampires, zombies, and aliens. All sorts of horrible monsters have scared many a player over the years. Horror games have been around for a good while, but have become even more popular over the last decade. For this installment of Favorite 5, I'll be sharing 5 of my personal favorite horror games. This was a difficult Favorite 5 to put together, as there are so many scary games out there that I've enjoyed, but I am happy with these 5 picks, and I hope you enjoy them too. So turn out the lights and steel yourselves as we delve into the darkness and look at my favorite 5 horror games. Number 1. Resident Evil Remake. The Resident Evil series is one of the most renowned in survival horror, but just picking one game for my favorite 5 was a bit tricky. Ultimately, I decided that the 2002 remake of the original Resident Evil was one of my absolute favorites. Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine's trek into the zombie-infested Spencer Mansion is one of the all-time classic horror games. Everything I love about the genre is here. Limited resources, claustrophobic camera angles, a chilling atmosphere, and, of course, scares. What makes Resident Evil such a fun horror game is the differences between Chris and Jill's campaign, as well as the additions that the remake brought, like defensive items, and new monsters like the Crimson Heads and the ghoulish Lisa Trevor. Not to mention, the story and voice acting were much better presented in the remake. That, combined with the stellar visuals and eerie soundtrack, make Resident Evil a survival horror must-play, and one of my favorite 5 horror games.
Barry!
What is it?
Look out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of it! What the hell is this thing?
I found Kenneth killed by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
Number 2. Outlast. This terrifying first-person adventure is one of the most intense and scary games out there. You play as an investigative journalist who journeys up to the Mount Massive Asylum to uncover a big story. However, all too soon, the true nature of the compound is revealed, and you must escape from the psychotic inmates, all while uncovering the truth behind the disaster.
I'm sorry, my son. I didn't want to have to do this to you. But you can't leave. Not yet. There is so much yet for you to witness. Will you see it? Can you? Our Lord, the Wall Rider, tearing his truth into the unbelievers. The only way out of this place is the truth. Accept the gospel, and all doors will open before you.
The pace of Outlast is frenetic. You barely have time to catch your breath as you avoid the murderous psychopaths of the asylum. You are no match for these deranged men, and so you must run and hide, and make your way through the complex as stealthily as possible. Your only ally in this nightmare is your video camera, which can be used to see in the dark, helping you avoid danger. Outlast is filled with memorable moments and heart-pounding encounters, and only through your courage and determination can you make it through this night of horrors in the asylum. Number 3. Until Dawn. The most recent game of this favorite five, Until Dawn, is a choice-driven horror game that focuses on 8 teenagers who are trapped on a frigid mountain. What started as a wild vacation soon turns into terror as the characters become separated and a masked killer begins stalking them. Other dangers on the mountain soon make themselves known, and only by making the right choices will everyone survive until dawn.
Don't you know I can smell you, Sam? I can smell your fear. Gotcha.
What I love about Until Dawn is how much your choices affect the game's narrative. Through the game system dubbed the butterfly effect, the choices you make have lasting consequences on the game, and a choice you made in an earlier chapter will help or hinder the characters later on. The game also features small sections with a psychiatrist, which also have an effect on certain events in the game. There are dozens of possible alternate paths to the story of Until Dawn, and I have loved going back and discovering new possibilities each time. Until Dawn was one of my favorite 5 games of 2015. And it easily makes it into my favorite 5 horror games.
Give me a break!
Number 4. Alien Isolation. Creative Assembly's sci-fi horror game is not only one of the best licensed games ever, but also one of the best horror games from the last few years. Taking place between Alien and the sequel, Aliens, Alien Isolation stars Amanda Ripley, the daughter of the series protagonist, Ellen Ripley. After finding a lead on her missing mother, Amanda arrives at the Sevastopol space station. To her horror, she discovers that Sevastopol has become a death trap with malfunctioning androids, hostile humans, and, worst of all, an alien lifeform known as the Xenomorph. Amanda must use everything she can to survive and avoid the dangers of the station.
Hear something? I hear something.
Axel?
Fuck if I go on me.
Remaining unseen is key in Alien Isolation. While Amanda can craft tools to help her survive, she can be quickly killed if she is discovered. Advancing stealthily and carefully is the best way to stay alive in this thrilling horror game. Alien Isolation is a superbly designed game, and if you love horror games and the Alien franchise, it is one of the best choices around. It's a simply fantastic horror adventure. Number 5. Fatal Frame 3: The Tormented. Of all the horror games out there, the Fatal Frame titles are the ones that scare me the most. All of the entries into the series are terrifying, but my personal favorite of the bunch is Fatal Frame 3: The Tormented. This 3rd chapter in the series follows Rei Kurosawa, a young woman who is being pulled every night into the haunted Manor of Sleep. In this blood-chilling story, you control Rei along with 2 other characters as they try to unravel the mystery of the Manor of Sleep and the marks appearing on their bodies before it is too late.
Have you seen him? Where did he go?
What makes the Fatal Frame games so scary to play is their almost oppressive atmosphere of dread, and how you deal with the evil spirits that haunt you throughout the game. By taking photos of the ghosts with a camera obscura, you can damage the spirits that chase you, and the closer you let them get to you, the more damage you'll do. This gameplay system actively makes you face your fears as you try to get in close and take photos of the ghosts. Along with the unique combat, there are loads of puzzles to solve, as well as sections during the day where you walk around Ray's apartment. Eventually, the lines between the spirit's world and the real world begin to break down, making the game all the more frightening. Fatal Frame 3: The Tormented is an intense and emotional rollercoaster of a horror game, and it's one game I come back to every now and again to remind me why I enjoy horror games. It scares me every bit of the way, but once I finish it, I want to go back and play it all over again. It's undoubtedly one of my absolute favorite horror games.
Let me sleep forever.
So those were my favorite 5 horror games. What are some of your favorites? Feel free to share in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep having great scares, everyone.
It's okay. It's okay.
Mike, it's in so much pain.
It'll be over soon. Okay, buddy. It'll be over soon. Run! Run!